Symptoms vary, effects vary, recovery varies greatly. But simply put, concussions are traumatic brain injuries, and for many, it's meant the end of actively engaging in the sport they love and may have invested a lifetime in. Joining us now for a conversation about the impact of concussions on their lives, Katie Weatherston. She's a former member of the Canadian national women's hockey team and a gold medalist at the 2006 Torino Olympics. She's now owner and head instructor of her own hockey school. Kerry Goulet, former professional European hockey player, International Ice Hockey Hall of Famer, and co-founder with former NHLer Keith Primeau of Stop Concussions. Paul Rosen, three-time Paralympian, gold medalist in sledge hockey in the Torino 2006 Paralympics. Andrew Liu, defensive back for the CFL's Ottawa Redblacks and director of special projects at the Concussion Legacy Foundation Canada. And Jacqueline Self, former Western University Mustangs women's basketball player, now a brand manager for Kahunaverse Sports Group. And it is really fabulous to have so much talent around this table today. My goodness gracious. I don't know why I bothered showing up. I feel inferior to all of you here. Let's just go around the table and, for starters, give me the 30-second speech on your history with concussions. Jacqueline, you want to start us off?
Yeah, for sure. So I played basketball at Western University, got my first concussion, and ended up coming back about 4 months after that.
How old were you?
Played again. I was 18 at the time, 19.
First concussion at 19?
First concussion at 19. Playing basketball too, which is, I think people are mostly shocked at.
Well, elbow in the face from what I heard.
Elbow in the face. Yeah. So, and then I came back about 4 months after and played about half a season, got a second concussion, and still dealing with symptoms today from that one.
To be continued.
To be continued.
Paul.
My first one was when I was 15, playing AAA hockey, smashed into the boards. Many years went by, and I lost my leg when I was 39. Had a few real bad ones when I played sled hockey, and then my worst one was about 6 months ago in the shower. I'm missing my right leg, so standing on my left leg. A lot of amputees would know this, but the general public wouldn't. I slipped in the shower, only having one leg, hit my head on the back wall, and I'm still going through symptoms and problems from that.
How many?
12. I've had 12.
You've had 12
Yes,
concussions?
I have. Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Katie.
I think I had minor concussions growing up from just heading the ball in soccer. You know, I just remember the whiteout for a few minutes and then just continuing to play. So I guess that's where it would have started. But for me, I had a severe bike crash and I went headfirst into the pavement, lost my 3 front teeth.
How old were you?
This was during Olympic tryouts, so it was 2005. I believe I was 22 years old. Okay. And after that, after the Olympics in September is when I had my major concussion. I got cross-checked from behind and I went headfirst into the boards. So I got the whiplash and then hitting the boards. And I actually took it upon myself to go ask the doctor if I was okay. Should I go back in? You know, back then they just run you through a few tests, throw you back in the game, and I actually got hit 2 more times. So the third time I was just taking a face off. And our heads just grazed each other, and I felt like I hit a brick wall. So that's when I knew I was in trouble.
How many in total do you suspect?
Oh, I'm going to guess, well, I would count, I guess, 3 in that one game, and I'd say probably 6 or 7.
Do you know who cross-checked you from behind?
I do, and she feels terrible. It was actually a teammate. The red and white Team Canada games can get pretty intense. So it was during tryouts, and, you know, stuff happens.
Yikes. Okay, Andrew, you've had 1, right?
Yeah, I've only had 1 when I was 20, and mine is a little different from everybody else's because I've had no long-lasting chronic effects. I was actually in a football game at university. I did the hit on the player, and then I blacked out. Next thing I remember, I was sitting on the sideline, and I played 3 more plays after that. My body was kind of on autopilot, and it took a couple of my teammates and my coach to actually pull me out. And they took me out of the game, put me through the recovery protocol, and I was able to play 2 weeks later.
Of what university?
Queen's University.
And you were how old?
I was 20 at the time.
You were 20.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you now?
I'm 26 as of last week.
And you played professional football?
Yeah.
And you have had no after effects since then?
No.
Wow.
And it kind of speaks to the fact that concussions are so different, case to case, right?
Kerry Goulet, tell us.
Well, it's been a long journey. I'm the old statesman on the panel here, 58. You know, when you ask how many, I don't know. I know that I had 3 documented. My first being that I recall the worst. It set me back into depression, suicidal thoughts, all the things that you hear about that are so devastating, this dark tunnel, not knowing when it's going to end. And I got lucky. I'm a very, very lucky guy because I got through it unscathed somewhat, let's say. I have memory issues right now, but other than that, I'm leading a pretty good life, and I'm helping, obviously, educate people on the cause-effect and consequences of it. And I think what's most important from all of this is that we all have personal journeys, and these journeys can really help the future athletes and people to understand that you're not alone. We're all here to help. And that's why we are here with you today.
Let's get some understanding of whether or not the people who were there, either the trainer, the coaches, the people on the bench, did what they were supposed to do or even knew what they were supposed to do when it happened. Jacqueline, how about for you?
So I got hit, knocked down to the ground, and pulled out of the game. Don't really remember much of that. My parents actually were the ones to take me to the hospital that night, but just because they felt like, oh, that's what we should have done. Pulled into the emergency room, such a long wait, we actually left. That's how much we were unsure of what to do.
So you didn't even get seen?
No, didn't get seen. Oh. So went back to Western, saw a family doctor actually first, and then went back to Western, and I was running just because I chose to within a week, which was definitely not the right choice and was a big setback. So yeah, not the perfect choice for sure.
Rosie, how about you?
Well, I have 2 stories really different from each other. Hockey Canada, and I think Hockey Canada has come a long way, and I think you'd agree with me, from when it first happened. So in Salt Lake City in 2002, I remember a player on the Estonia team catching me in the side of the face with his sled. I don't really remember much about the event, but I do remember that it was that suck it up mentality. We needed you back in the lineup, where that is totally different from what happens now. About 3 years ago, I was umpiring high-level fast pitch, and I took a foul ball in the chin, and I went out. The only thing that saved me from real injury was the catcher. I fell on top of the catcher, and I remember one of the coaches on the other team, his girlfriend was there, and she was a nurse, and she pulled me right out. She said, he's not umping anymore. So we've changed quite a bit on the way people look at things and look at the way they're going to allow things to happen. Back then, it was that, I'm sorry, we need you to play.
Would you echo that? Because I know back in the day, the idea was, he got his bell rung, send him back in there. Did you face any of that?
I think my doctors made a mistake. I made a mistake. It was, again, with Hockey Canada. I did what most players don't do. I turned to my teammate and I said, I don't feel like, I got hit pretty hard. How do my eyes look? And she said, well, go get checked out by the doctor. So I went to the doctor. And it's not like it was an important game, right? It was a red and white game. And
That's an inter-squad game,
Inter-squad game for Team Canada. We were, it was September 2006, Kenora at the time, just after the Olympics, playing some of the best hockey in my career. And putting me back in the game was the worst decision. And I think it's potentially ruined.
You recognize anybody in that picture up there?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I always, I tell people I'm so happy and proud that I went to the Olympics, won a gold medal, but if I could have my health back, I'd give it all back. So that's how much concussions really can impact your life and change things.
You would give back the medal, you would give back the Olympic experience.
Absolutely.
Not to suffer what you're suffering now.
Yeah, it's been a long, dark road, 9 years, so it was tough. And it was just, I think it was that one decision to put me back in the game. And that's why I think I want to educate so many people and tell them, this happened to me, I don't want to see it happen to your kids. It's not worth it. You only have one head, you got to take care of it. That was the big mistake for me.
Yours was in university football?
Yes.
I can't imagine they had in place the resources or the protocols back then to handle this. Did they?
Apparently they did, according to my scenario, right? I think the most important thing was pulling me from play, and I think everyone will kind of reciprocate that reducing exposure can save a life, ultimately, like second impact syndrome. And pulling me from the game, and like I said, I don't really remember much about the protocol, but erring on the side of safety, I think, is always a great place to start.
Whose decision was to pull you from the game?
I think ultimately it was my coach, but my teammates were the ones, according to what they told me, they were the ones that went to my coach and told me that, or told him that something was wrong with me.
Don't put him back in.
Yeah, so they literally took my helmet. It's kind of a figure of speech, but they literally took my helmet away from me because I wanted to keep playing, and I clearly didn't have my bearings. So, and a lot of athletes will kind of be like that when they're, I guess, cognitively incapacitated.
Yeah.
They'll just want to keep playing because that's what the body does. And so it took a teammate and a coach to say, no, this can't go on.
So you, I don't want to overstate this, but you kind of owe your career to those people, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the risk or what could have happened, we don't know. The consequences could have been extremely severe, but I do owe it to them, and I'm really good friends with a lot of them still today. So.
Carrie, how is your life different now, all those concussions later, in as much as what can't you do as well that you used to be able to do without even thinking twice about it?
Well, we don't know whether it's age-related. My memory is definitely changed. Mood swings a little bit more. I'm usually a happy-go-lucky dude, but there are times where I struggle. And I think one of the most is sleep patterns. I sleep maybe 3 or 4 hours a night in continuous fashion up. So I maybe get 4 or 5 good hours of sleep. So that's the one thing that's really plagued me was sleep. But if I could just say, we all have, again, these journeys. I had 2, and I'm just going to give you the one that really changed the way I was. 1988, had an opportunity to come through the Winnipeg Jets. Didn't make it. Got a chance to fly over and play in Germany, and so excited. It was my second game there, and
They gave you a name.
Gooch. I got a
Well,
Gooch.
no, I was thinking, aren't you Mr. Ice Hockey?
Yeah.
Like EIS?
I think that was my mom. Thank you for that. I never lived that one down. That was more, they kind of wanted to call me that because of the Gretzky factor. At no time was I even close to Wayne Gretzky. But most importantly on this one is that I was going around in defense. I was wearing Gretzky's helmet. I had the sweater tucked in. There's 2,500 fans. It was the second game. Came around, opened up, take a shot, and as I was shooting, the fenceman took my feet out from me, and they say that I slid into the boards, and I was lucky that I got turned and I hit the shoulder and the head. What happened is, they say I woke up in the hospital. It must have been 40 minutes. I was out. I woke up. Standing over top of me were 5 German doctors, again, only being there for 2 weeks. I only knew Hogan's Heroes German, Bier, Achtung, and they were talking gibberish, and nobody was talking about my head. It was all about shoulder, and I understood, oh, shoulder. They were looking at my shoulder. And they wanted me to actually stay there. It happened on a Sunday. My mom was flying into Schiphol Airport, which was 2.5 hours away, and I couldn't get anybody on the Wednesday. Nobody would go, so I snuck out of the hospital, threw my hospital gear down, didn't want her to think I was a doctor, raced there, picked her up, driving back home, I decided I'm not going back. So I didn't go back to the hospital, kept on playing Friday, Sunday, 18 months. And 18 months in Winnipeg, sitting at home, I realized there was something wrong. I ended up in a psych ward for 2 days. And they basically attributed it to depression. I was 30 years old, had everything as far as, I didn't make it in the National Hockey League, but I had cars and parties and fun and everything that you could ask for. And they said I was depressed. Threw me on an antidepressant drug. I don't remember the first month going back. Got through it, threw it away, and here I am today. Hopefully a better.
Can you still play hockey?
Played yesterday.
Debatable.
Did you?
I've got the greatest move standing still. I'm really good.
But you do
I can't
play.
say- Oh, absolutely. I love it. Love
Can you still play basketball?
No,
You can't play anymore at all?
No.
How old were you when you played your last game?
20 years old. Yeah. And I think that I'm truly affected by, I feel more along your story day to day. I'm 8 years down the line, and I would do the same. I would give it all back to not feel how I feel now.
How heartbreaking is that, not to be
Yeah,
able to
it's
play
tough.
that sport you
For sure.
love so much, right?
And, some of my best friends are still from sports. Sports given me tons of opportunities. I would, I'd give back my Division I scholarship. I'd give back my time at Western. So that says a lot, I think.
Recognize her?
For sure. Yeah.
So you can't you can't go to the backyard and shoot hoops anymore on a backboard?
I wouldn't go with a group of people, but I would go, because it's that trust of other people around me, right? I used to ski a lot too. I don't do that. Just worried about, I can trust myself to go down the hill because I can go at my own pace, but there's a whole bunch of other people on the hill too. So it affects day to day for sure.
Katie, what kind of impact on your moods has being concussed had?
I mean, it's been heartbreaking. A lot of mental health, I think, goes it goes with the territory. When you have a concussion, I always tell people, watch out for depression, anxiety, and for me, it's been, like you said, a long journey of just the grieving process. Life's completely changed. I can barely, exercise.
So you're not back on skates at all?
I'm on skates, but I can only get my heart rate up to a certain point where, that the airplane, ear popping comes back, headaches, even nausea. So
You're not playing hockey?
no, I'm not. I would like to start playing like just a little bit of pickup. I've played in our alumni games at school, but those are the only 2 times I've been on the ice playing a game in the last 9 years.
How was it?
So, I had a smile, a constant smile. So I'd like to try to get back into it, but again, it's the trust. I've had to give up snowboarding. I bought a pair of skis one year thinking, this is it. I'm gonna go skiing, and I can't risk falling. So it's tough when you can't do the things you once loved to do, and I can't imagine going through that as a young child too. So I run a lot of hockey camps, and these kids that just go stir crazy, right? So it definitely affects your mental health for sure.
Are you in pain right now?
Yeah, I'm in pain every day. So I have chronic pain now. I have 2 partially torn jaw discs from my bike crash, and I get, it's hard to tell if it's tension headaches, constant neck pain. So just a lot of pain management right now, and hoping that someone's able to help me a little bit more than what I've been able to accomplish. It's been baby steps for the last 8 years, but one big thing that I'm really hopeful of is this new theory on the eyes. There's a lot of problems with our eyes, and I was just told my eyes were about a 7 out of 10. So they're pretty bad. So I'm getting glasses with prisms put in them and binocular occlusion, it's called. So that helps take away the eye strain. So
Can I just jump in there? Because I feel actually blessed that it happened to me. And I know a lot of people think, wow, that's strange to hear, but it's given me a purpose in life, it's given me a journey, because I ended my career ended at 41, coming back from Germany. I passed grade 12 by going and getting through grade 6 twice, so I wasn't that educated. So when I got back at 41, I really didn't know what to do. So I took my journey and was able to hopefully help people. And Scott Haller, who deals with eye tracking, it's so important to know. We just did an event yesterday with EMS out in Niagara. We've got so many people activated to help us all do this. And had I not experienced that, I may have just gone through life. I could have been a used car salesman. I could have been, selling what. I wouldn't know what I was doing. But now I have a purpose. I have a purpose that I don't want people to suffer like we've suffered. I'm actually able to skate. And one of the things that was incredible is we talked about it. Keith and I wrote a book.
We should just say, this is Keith Primo, who played in the National Hockey League for the Philadelphia Flyers, among others.
Ghostwriter. I actually wrote mine. They had to take out a lot of DAs out.
How many concussions did he have?
His was 4. And he made millions and millions of dollars. It took him 7 years. I was there with him throughout part of the journey, and it was incredible. But I just wanted to show what happens. When we wrote this book, they asked for pictures, so a German photographer sent this over, and it's a picture with me. My eyes are out. If it was in color, you would see.
Now, is that you?
That's me.
That's you, and you are right out of it, aren't you?
So the gentleman on the left got me up to my feet, and of course, just as we probably know, he kind of shake me and say, "Gooch, what's going on? Where are you?" And I see people skating with sticks. Oh, I'm at an ice hockey game. I got back to the bench 6 smelling salts later. I was a player coach. I didn't miss a shift. I continued on playing, and I played. That was my second diagnosis. And so what I think really happens here is that we want that light switch. We want it to just go away. And unfortunately, there isn't a pill. There isn't a medical process right now. We don't understand it. So collectively, we're going to do this. We're going to make our athletes safer.
Paul, I want to get you, if you would, to compare and contrast, because you've been through 2 traumatic things in your life. You've had all the concussions, and then you lost a leg after, I guess you were in the hospital for surgery and got an infection, and you lost the leg as a result. Which one of those 2 traumas has actually been more difficult to come back from?
The concussion. I had broke my leg severely in the 70s, and then in 97 I had a knee replacement, picked up an operating room infection, 1 in a million, and then after a ton of surgeries, I ended up in June of '99. They ended up having to amputate my leg just below the hip, otherwise I was going to die. So I had my leg amputated on June 9th, 1999. From June 10th until today, '99, I've never had an issue with my leg. I lost my leg, I went on with my life. I've done some incredible things since I lost my leg. But the concussion and the problems after the concussions are the things I'm still living with today. I have 3 kids, all in their 30s. My youngest daughter, who's 30, the biggest problem she has is I forget everything. So unless I write it down, I will miss lunch events with her. And my kids find it so difficult to deal with me when it's not really me.
Can I ask you a bit of a personal question?
Absolutely.
Like these questions so far haven't been personal, but you're a single man.
I am.
Can you date?
It's very difficult. So I've been divorced probably 11, almost 12 years. And my wife, we were childhood sweethearts. And then when all of this started happening to me after I lost my leg, she just couldn't take it. And I don't blame her. We're still friends to this day. But I've had different type of trying to get into a relationship, and then it ends after 2-3 months because I turn into a different person. And my kids are the ones that tell me, like, there's no way she could take that. You're like, today you're Mr. Happy and you're the greatest guy in the world, and tomorrow you lock yourself in your apartment and don't come out for 3 days.
That's what I don't get. Because, I mean, in our experience here today, you are Mr. Personality.
Absolutely. But tomorrow I might not be. Tomorrow I might be in my apartment with blind shut and not come out for 2-3 days.
And I live with Paul. He's one of our best ambassadors. We've traveled the world. He's coming with us in July to our event in Australia. I'll actually be with Chris Nowinski, who runs part of your organization. We're doing a program to help with concussions, obviously with Area AFL. But I'm around Paul a lot, and it's dead on. This guy is top of the world or bottom of the barrel. So I know he struggles a lot, but what he does, the inspiration that you do, not only losing a leg, but more importantly, what he's done with all of the trials and tribulations of the concussions that he's suffered. Man, it's a true honor to have him as an ambassador.
Andrew, do you think that professional sports nowadays, and let's talk about the one that you still play, CFL football, is adequately seized of this issue?
I don't think sports will ever be devoid of the risk of concussions, honestly. I think we need to do as much as we can to manage and prevent it in all facets of it. We were talking earlier, and I said, sports, it's kind of like driving a car. Just because there are car accidents, we don't stop. And we never want sports to be
No, but you
right?
want to know that if you've been in an accident, that there is infrastructure in place to take care of you.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's in place in sports today?
I think that we're getting there. There can always be more done for any injury. But I think that we need to continue to be as proactive as we can and implement things because the research and the literature changes so quickly,
Absolutely.
right? So I think having those safety protocols in place will continue to encourage sport because we never want to lose sport. I think we've all kind of touched on how it's impacted our lives, but there is an inherent risk to it.
I ask because the commissioner of the Canadian Football League, who is a former player, so he knows whereof he speaks, he played the game, is not yet convinced that there is a link between playing professional football and CTE.
Well, I think that sports and football alone is a sport, like besides being professional, if you look at the data, you're going to see that there is an increased exposure and increased cases that come from it, right? And we always talk about the professional level because that's what gets the most exposure, but we want to protect the youth and we want to make sure that they have a safe place to play because of all of the good that sport can bring to their lives and enrich their lives.
Let me try Katie on this because, I don't have to tell you, hockey is the sport in our country that gets criticized most often for having its head in the sand as it relates to what it will tolerate in the interests of entertainment. Fighting, headshots, et cetera, et cetera. Ken Dryden came out with a fantastic book a few months ago. He was on this program talking about how he still can't get Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, to understand he's got a ticking time bomb on his hands. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the girls' game is pretty aggressive, but at least we're not, dropping the gloves, ripping off our helmets and fighting. And just watching those guys fight on TV and just fall back and hit their head, you know what's coming. And a lot more has to be done. It's still this past summer, I run hockey camps. I see kids get concussions every summer, especially the ones, that don't have the balance. If anything, I see the young beginners more at risk than almost anyone, as well as professional athletes. But they'll fall back and hit their head, and their parents will just be, just get back into the game. Or one girl got a concussion and the doctor said, just rest until you're better, and then you can, get back to exercising. The first thing she did was go for a run. And my jaw dropped. I was like, the pounding, the heel strike on your head, like that's no way to come back from a concussion. So there still needs to be a lot more concussion awareness out there.
We don't want our kids playing sport leaving, a bib and a drool cup. We want them to leave the sport healthier and being able to live lives like we're now living. So we put together this platform, and I've asked some of the panelists to start to jump on the bandwagon with us. We have to start preventing some of these injuries, and we can. We just got to get back to the basics.
Well, would you ban fighting in the
Yes,
NHL?
absolutely.
You would
Today
ban
I
fighting?
I wasn't a tough guy, so everybody said, Gucci would do that anyways, but I was more of a lover. But realistically, we know that, what's the intent of a fight? Realistically, at the end of the day, it's to knock the other person out. So obviously we know how bad that is, and we've had it happen to us accidentally. So yes, I would do that, and I would make sure that we understand the cause, effect, and consequences. But most importantly, it's not about the injury anymore. It's about being able to diagnose it properly, manage it properly. Let's get everybody around the table, neurologists, chiropractors, osteopaths, athletes, lawyers, dentists. Why are we suing? For God's sake, sport is the best thing that we could ask for. It's given me everything, and I would not give it back. But what I don't want to do is have any child go through what we've gone through. So let's all get around a table like we're doing now and talk together. We can solve this together.
Well, let me
It's no
find out from
question.
Jacqueline, the new normal of your life is a lot different from what it would have been 10 years ago when you
sure.
go out and do whatever you want, play basketball, hard, whatever. Have you accepted your new normal?
I don't think I had a choice. So, and I think that took a while to come to that point. I think I was striving to get to 100% for way too long. So maybe my normal now is I have a mild headache for most of the week, or I'll get migraines throughout the year, which I never had before. My normal is maybe a concert's a bit tough sometimes. So
Now, you can't really go to a rock and roll show, can you? Where they're just blasting.
I
it.
mean, I could go. I don't know if that would be the best choice, right? So what's the consequence from going to do something like that? So normal has changed, but that is what it is. I go for treatment. I manage it. I manage my new normal.
Do you expect it to be this way for the rest of your life?
I think I will, because I think to try to strive again for that 100% kind of makes you feel like just keeps you falling back, right?
You're in your
I do.
20s?
Yeah, I'm 27. Yeah.
So you could,
Yeah.
this could be 60 more years
It
of
could
this.
be. I hope not, but I think I look at it more on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis as well, right? I'll look back, and it kind of got exhausting looking at when I first got hit, how's your head? How's your head? How's your head? So then you're constantly thinking, oh, okay, yeah, it's not great, not great. So now I look at it as a whole. That was a good month. And what's a good month for me different than somebody else? But it's just a new normal.
How about the new normal that you have to live with?
Like I said, it's been 9 years and I'm still learning how to cope and deal with it. And I just recently started in a chronic pain program, so it's tough though. I've accepted that I might not ever get back to playing competitive sports and doing things, but I don't think I still have accepted that, at some point I want to be able to exercise again. Just do simple things, like help my parents building the cottage, just being able to carry things without getting a headache. So I feel very similar to Jacqueline. It's been rough at such a young age too, and I was that extreme athlete, right? Like I go home and people said, I can't believe, everything has been taken from you, because I was, I played soccer, hockey, and so it's been hard to change when that big piece of your identity is now gone. That's potentially 70% of your life almost. So you just have to learn how to fill your bucket back in with different things.
But you can't, none of you can get to where you wanted to be without that absolutely burning, intense competitive drive inside. What do you do with that now?
See, that's a tough part, right? Because you're just so determined to get better. And for me, I had my concussion at the worst time. My last concussion was December of 2008. The next day, the coach, Melody Davidson, was flying in to watch me play. So I thought I'd pick up ice before, and I just got minor whiplash, didn't even hit my head on the ice. but my head at this point was already an egg, and I just felt my brain go kind of splish splosh from whiplash. And, you know, obviously the coach is disappointed. She can't see me the next day, and she flew all the way in from Calgary. And that was around the time that we were trying to pick the centralization team for the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. So just the mental piece, not knowing if I was going to go to tryouts, you know, get invited, not get invited, when I was going to get better, and just trying to force myself to get better. I remember at one point I was training again, and my trainer had me pushing a car out in the parking lot. And this is, you know, trying to get back for the Olympics, and I just felt something like pop in my head. And it just, looking back, you know, you never want to be lifting weights. You know, you want to be starting with cardio, and that was another mistake too. So it's tough, and I understand. It's a blind disability basically too, and that makes it a huge challenge for a lot of people, because everyone looks at me and, you know, you look so healthy, you look so fit. You know, so they kind of judge you, and then you share with them your story, and then they're like, man, I had no idea that's what your life was like, you know, so.
Can you play anymore?
No,
You are
not
off
a
the ice
chance.
now.
No. I'm fortunate now because I do the TV end of it. I just finished the commentary for the games in Korea, and I love doing that. I love getting down and interviewing the players. I love doing my own little show that I do, and I get a chance to travel across North America telling my story. I also had an addiction to painkillers for 25 years because the doctors that saw me, you know, I'm missing my leg, I wear shorts, I'm missing my leg. They don't, and I tell people now I'm almost 58 years old, I've had 36 surgeries, 12 concussions, and I'm missing 11 teeth. And unlike the women, I wouldn't change anything. I would go back and do it exactly the same. I want people to know that. We're not just telling the same story here. I know it's wrong. I know my daughters will kill me when they hear this, but I would go back for that gold medal and for that fame that I had, that inner fame from 2005, 6, 7, 8. I would do it all over again.
Interesting. I want to finish off with you, because you're the one guy on this.
The anomaly here.
You are a bit of the anomaly, because you've had your concussion, but you've come through it, and you are still playing, and you are, I mean, theoretically, you're at the height of your career right now, right? Probably.
Yeah, pretty much.
Height of your abilities. Does hearing any of this today, though, make you somewhat fearful about continuing to play professional football?
I don't say any more than it would have been, because I've tried to stay as informed as I can about the issue, and I think it's so important to share stories like this so that there isn't that I don't know what could happen to me. I'm fully aware of the risks associated with it, and I think that an important part moving forward for sport in general is making sure that kids that start playing a sport know that this is like a possibility one day for any sport you play. Because what happens is you start playing as a kid and you get so used to the sport, and then you can't be pulled away from it because you don't know the risk that's associated with it. You don't know how severe it can be. And once you start doing that for 10 years, you get to like our age and it's just, no, I'm not going to stop playing because of this. And then boom, your life changes.
Right. I want to thank all of you for coming in tonight and just being so candid and personal with your stories. And I can't imagine actually how much good this conversation is going to do once it gets out there and people think about your experiences. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
For having us.
The Agenda with Steve Bacon is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario, helping businesses stay on the right side of change with strategic thinking, insightful decisions, and business leadership. Are you on the right side of change? Ask an Ontario CPA.